Dead of Darkness is a pixel art homage to what we now call traditional survival horror games. You take the role of Miles Wyndham, a grieving private detective who was lured to an island with promises of information about the death of his daughter, and Olivia Green, a recently hired nurse who claims to be looking to escape the city life by accepting a job out in the middle of nowhere. Together, they'll seek to uncover the mystery of Velvet Island and its bizarre inhabitants and escape with their lives.
Alrighty, I just need to load some boxes.
So, Miles.
I guess. What's your deal?
New job. I'm a nurse and I'm joining Dr. Carter at Graham Memorial.
If you don't mind me asking, why pick a remote island for that job?
Kinda sick and tired of the big city. Seen my share of madness, I guess.
What you'd call a happy reunion.
The game's 2D pixel art style is very much the norm now for indie titles, and it's extremely well done. The locations and character models are all excellent, showing a good degree of detail. Even though the animations are quite basic outside of a few cutscenes, it doesn't diminish the impact. During dialogue scenes, the speaker is highlighted with a nice high-def character portrait, they're all superb, and more than a couple of them are nicely graphic and unsettling. The graphics are rounded out with some nice lighting effects, which really enhance the atmosphere and give a nice depth to the scenery.
We'll let someone know. Don't worry.
If there is one criticism of the artwork, I'd have to say that while it is done to a high degree of quality, none of it is particularly original or memorable. And I'm afraid that's going to be a bit of a recurring theme in this review. The sound and music are on par with the high quality artwork. The music nicely sets the tension of each scene and never intrudes upon the action or distracts the player. During some of the jump scare scenes, the music really added to the scare factor. The sound effects are basic enough, but I found the creature and gun sounds a little lacking, especially when it comes to certain monsters that can kill you in one hit. I'll get to them later. An impactful audio report would have really ratcheted the tension up in a lot of scenes. The voice acting was the one feature I was really excited to review on this though. So few indie games go through the trouble of full voice acting that when one does bother, it's worth a look just for that alone. And the results here are a mixed bag. While the two lead characters' lines are delivered well enough, Olivia's in particular, the rest of the cast just isn't any good, especially the main villain who did not deliver a single line that correctly matched the tone of the scene that he was in. Whether this is down to poor direction or performers is anyone's guess, but the one thing you should really aim to avoid is that it should never sound like actors reading lines off a script. It should sound like dialogue. And the characters in Dead of Darkness never feel like they're talking to one another. Plus, one extra is very clearly voiced by an AI, but it's just from one line and then she fucks off and dies, so I won't stick the boot in there.
The situation is under control. I suggest you and the rest of your half-wit family stay put. Stop interfering and let us do our jobs. Now go on. Get out of my sight before I lose my temper.
Sir,
What?
a moment.
I'll be right.
Are you alright?
I'm fine, thanks.
I'm Miles Wyndham.
Wyndham, you say?
Did Charles?
I don't mean to be rude,
Perhaps we'll catch...
perhaps. Just one thing. It might be...
The story behind Dead of Darkness is that you start out as Miles Wyndham, a tortured PI who receives an odd recording claiming that the secret behind the death of his daughter lies on Velvet Island. As Miles travels to the island, he meets Olivia Green, a nurse looking to start a new position in the psychiatric hospital on the island. Once they reach it, things quickly go south as the island is overrun with flesh-eating ghouls and other beasties who are chowing down on the security forces and staff. Miles and Olivia quickly resolve to round up all the survivors, find out what's going on, and get the fuck off the island.
That was an awful lot of blood.
I'm not at liberty to discuss this. Please, just follow me.
So much for that escape from Big City Matt.
You can say that again.
Cut? Where have you... Who are these people?
They just arrived from the mainland, sir.
Obviously they did, you half-wit.
I'm Miles Wyndham. I was invited by...
Of course, there's far more to the story that gets revealed as the game progresses that I won't ruin. The story has some twists and turns, and again, while they're all very well done, they're nothing original. Now, it certainly kept me interested enough to keep playing the game, and I guess that's about as good as you can hope for in a game that's as slavishly attentive to its inspirations as this one. While there is a remarkable amount of depth to the lore and background text in the game, there's sadly little depth to the characters. Like, just so many of them just have no impact whatsoever. I've mentioned that Dead of Darkness is a slave to its inspirations, and this is no more apparent than in the gameplay systems. The movement is Zelda-like, the older ones, but you've 8 angles of movement instead of 4. The inventory screen is a near carbon copy from Resident Evil, and it borrows the travelling storage box item management system too. What is slightly different though is the ability to pick up clues as well as items, think them over and use them like items. You can even combine the clues with some of the items to alter them in a mechanic that I thought was brilliant and probably one of the few original ideas in this game. The other original idea is the inclusion of a sanity bar that goes down along with your health as you get attacked. This is meant to provide an extra layer of peril, asking you to kind of manage your characters' minds as well as their bodies. But in practice, this just equated to another health bar, one which was hard to see how low it was, as it's just a white bar that changes to black. I barely noticed it through my playthroughs, and I never saw the point of it. The combat is simple enough. You just raise the gun, you point and shoot until dead, or deader. Again, it's well done, but it's not original. What was surprising was how few weapons Dead of Darkness provides. In games like these with pretty repetitive gameplay, you can only spice things up through 2 methods: new enemies or new weapons. Dead of Darkness gives you a grand total of 3 weapons: a knife, a handgun and a shotgun, and the balancing isn't the best on them. Even when upgraded, the pistol will need half a clip to drop even an average ghoul. The shotgun is pretty much an instant kill whenever you use it, except on the bosses. So you'll end up using the shotgun only on bosses, the handgun on the fodder, and you'll throw the knife away into a box.
Damn it. I'll be right there. I'm sorry. I need to go. Please wait in the main hall until I or one of my colleagues comes for you.
You guys sure are busy. I'll be fine.
Thank you.
What the fuck is going on here?
Why are you staring at me like that, mister?
Sorry.
Can we play?
I'm...
Kathy, get back here.
No, I don't.
Given that Dead of
want
Darkness
to.
is only 4 real enemies that you'll encounter with any regularity, the game boasts 13 different ones, but most of them are bosses and most of the rest are those one area specific monsters that are often easier just to run away from than fight. The repetitive combat will start to wear on you. The game also doesn't pause when you open your inventory or look at the map, which is a bit of a pain, especially when you've got the particular bug I had, which meant that my manual reload button wouldn't work and I had to use the inventory screen to reload. Plus, the game is quite padded with its fetch quests. If you have an odd shaped indentation on a wall, better believe that the key will be hidden in a room that's the furthest away, forcing you to traipse back and forth across whole buildings or entire areas. In conclusion, this is a remarkable effort for a solo developer. It may not have blown my socks off, but it kept me rooted to the chair waiting for the next part the entire way through the playthrough. The padding kills the flow in certain sections, the voice acting is so bad it can't be taken seriously, and the lack of variety in the combat or gameplay holds the game back a lot. It gets an awful lot right though, and not only should you get this if you're a survival horror fan, but you should really add the dev to your watch list.